Let's start off with the most important question out there. What kind of business should you start? We're going to kind of skip around here because there are many viewpoints to come to this, because I would say right off the bat, you should start a business that you're comfortable with and that you want to do. And I'm going to give you an example. A few years ago, I got in the car rental business. Did not know a whole lot about the car rental business, but there was a ton of information that the car rental business was good. People were making all kinds of money. I actually got in the car rental business, spent a ton of money buying rental cars, and I exited the car rental business 8 months later. The car rental business for me was not a happy business. It wasn't a good business. And I'm going to give you some perspective on what led up to my thoughts on that. I've had many businesses. I used to sell used commercial office furniture, new commercial office furniture. I used to be in the storage auction business, and I used to be in the publishing business. Each one of those businesses did not cause me the grief, the concern, the worry, or the apprehension that the car rental business did. Those businesses fit very well with my skill sets. They fit in quite well. And I was able to do these businesses for a long time and not suffer stress and burnout. The car rental business, once again, speaking for myself, it was full of apprehension. It was full of drama. I literally had 20 people arrested for stealing my cars. Their court cases are coming up now. I've had multiple flat tires. At one point, I had 12 cars out of 31 cars wrecked. Just a lot of stress and drama. Now, let's go ahead and talk about if I had not had successful businesses before the car rental business. I would have had a totally different take on the car rental business, because even with all that stress and drama, I made $150,000 in a few months. But, due to the wrecks, the incidents, the towing, the lost keys, it was like money would come in and money would go right back out. But I would have a very different viewpoint on the car rental business if I had not had successful businesses that took advantages of my skill sets. I just simply would have not been the same person. I simply wouldn't have had the same perspective, because I've had successful businesses before. And this is where I can help you out with what kind of business should you start. What is one of the biggest areas on YouTube? Side hustles. Do this thing, do that thing, do this thing, and you can make money doing this side hustle. First of all, I want to say that the number of content creators who are talking about these side hustles are not doing these side hustles. Give you an example. Guy put up a video talking about how to get in the cargo van business for less than $300 by renting a van. When this video came out, there were people in the comments saying the methodology did not work. This video went on to get millions of views, because here's how YouTube, if a video on YouTube is getting a lot of views, whether the information is good or not, YouTube's going to push it. And this video got pushed, even though the information in the video was 100% inaccurate, of no use to anyone. This video kept getting pushed and pushed and recommended to people. So one of the reasons that this happens is, as I said earlier, the content creators are not doing these side hustles. They're not doing them. They're just coming to YouTube and putting it out and hoping that, like this video about how to start a cargo van for $300 hits, and they can start getting that YouTube money. Now, that YouTube money is a different kind of money, because all you have to do is get attention of YouTube. That's it. Your concepts don't have to be valid. They don't have to be good. You just have to get that attention. So what I would recommend for you to do is to sit down with a good friend and ask your friend, what does your friend think are some of your best attributes? Because typically when you self-audit, you tend to downgrade your skills. You tend to like, oh, that's nothing special. That's something I do. That's something I do for free. Have a friend sit down and talk to you and tell you what you're good at. What you want to start is a business that takes advantage of your skill sets. I was really good at selling. This is why the storage auction business, the storage auction business, this is why selling commercial office furniture, all this stuff worked really, really well because I was natively good at doing the things that these businesses required. It was part of my natural makeup. And that's what you want to do when you start a business. I know there's a ton of videos talking about side hustles. There's a ton of videos talking about AI. Let's talk about that. A few months ago when AI was coming out, it was all the rage. I've literally seen YouTube channels go from 0 to 200,000-300,000 subscribers in a matter of weeks talking about AI. And AI, in my opinion, was overly hyped. AI has not dramatically changed my life. It has made some changes. I do use AI for some things, but the overwhelming promise of AI hasn't been realized. It just hasn't. And now it's starting to die off and these YouTube channels are starting to die down because here's the thing. And I know this is what people want. They want to come to the internet. They want to find something simple, easy, that they can pick up very quickly with little to no expense and start making money. And for the people who got in early on the AI stuff, that happened. There was a company, I don't know the name of the company, but what they did is they sold 100 AI prints of yourself on Instagram and they made a lot of money because no one else was doing it. But as the AI started to get out and more people learned how to do this stuff, their profits and stuff literally disappeared. So if you got in early, you could have made money with AI technology. But now go ahead, spend a little time on YouTube and look at the people who are talking about AI technology and look at what's happening to their stores and look at what's happening to their sales. They're literally crashing and burning because here's the thing. I keep saying you want to get in a business that takes advantage of your native skills. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to get into business, pretty much like I did with the car rental business, and you're going to find out that this business completely and utterly sucks. And you're not going to want to do it. You're not going to want to put the time or the effort into doing it, and this business is going to crash and burn. So if you do, like, give you an example, one of my businesses, Conundrum Publishing, that's when I wrote a lot of books. I thoroughly enjoyed that business, even though it was really, really hard. Now, what do I mean when I say it was hard? Every morning I woke up and I wrote for 3 to 4 hours every day. This went on for a month, actually a few years. And I was making YouTube videos and also was creating content. And one of the things that I noticed is that I didn't get sick of it. I didn't get tired of it, even though it was hard because I thoroughly enjoyed it. So when you're getting into business, you should get into a business that you enjoy. I'm about to say something that may be kind of contrary here, but let's say you like being on the road. You thoroughly like being on the road. You like going from city to city. You like being out. You just love it. Truck driving, that's a thing for you because that's something that's going to give you all these things that you like. This is one of the reasons, and this is something I noticed a long time ago, that many truck drivers are a little different because they're so used to spending so much time alone in their truck. And if that's you, that could be the perfect business for you because it's taking advantage of your native abilities. It's taking advantage of skill sets that you have. And one of the things that will happen with people starting businesses is they'll look at the cost, and let's talk about that. You should not allow the cost to scare you away from a business if this business is for you. Because right now, a multitude of businesses you can get into for under $10,000. There's a lot of businesses you can get into for $5,000. So that's a cost. And I understand that 70% of America doesn't have $1,000 saved. So that's going to be a problem for the larger mass of Americans because they don't have any money. But if you go ahead and prepare yourself and you go ahead and you do the things that you need to do to make yourself acceptable to this business, this could be a game changer for you. Even though this business has a cost, it can be a huge, huge game changer for you. So what you want to do is to get in a business that takes advantage of your native skills. Because since you already have these skills, you're already good at these skills, it's going to be much easier for you to go forward in this business. Conundrum Publishing, I did quite well. I made a lot of money, but here's the thing. I enjoyed writing. It wasn't like this big thing that happened. And here's something else. Before Conundrum Publishing, I wrote for many, many years for free because I thoroughly enjoyed writing and creating. So this was something that was already in me. And I'll actually tell you a story of how I wrote my first book. Years and years ago, I used to write a ton of Craigslist ads. And it became a daily habit. Every morning I would get up, I would write my ads, I would set my ads off. And over the years, I just developed this habit of writing every day. And this allowed me to write my first book in 3 months because I was used to writing every day. So I took advantage of my native skills. So this is one of the things you should be looking at when you start your business. I know there's a lot of information about Turo. There's a lot of information about Airbnb. There's a lot of information about Etsy. There's a lot of information about these side hustles that literally, and there's one thing that all of those side hustles have in common. They take getting customers off of your plate. And that's one of the reasons that everyone runs to an Etsy or runs to a Turo or runs to an Airbnb or runs to an Amazon, because they do the work of getting the customers for you. And they take a pretty, especially Amazon. Amazon takes a really, really good chunk of money for being able to get customers for you. But one of the things that you want to look at is what business is good for you, what business works for you, and what you can do to make that business successful. Because one of the things, like I keep going back to Conundrum Publishing. Conundrum Publishing was really successful because I thoroughly enjoyed doing what I was doing. And this is one of the things that you should take in consideration when you're looking for what business to start, what business to get into. Do you enjoy the business? I'll tell you a story. With Conundrum Publishing, I was publishing books. That was my main thrust of business. I was publishing books on Amazon. I had a blog. I was selling books. I was selling books on YouTube. And something happened with that business. I hit upon an area where I just didn't like the customer base. Didn't like it. And essentially I had a huge resale group. I had a lot of stuff that I simply gave away because I thoroughly was tired of that business model. I was tired of the customers and stuff. Fortunately, I had something else that I can turn into, but that is one of the things that can happen when you get into a business that maybe you don't enjoy the business, you don't enjoy the customer base, you don't enjoy the process. That's going to be something that's going to be really, really hard for you to maintain unless you have the capital to hire people to do all the stuff that you hate to do and do it well. So just some things that you should think about, some things you should consider as you go along and figure out what business is good for you. This is the first talk. We'll be talking about this a lot more. So be sure to subscribe. Be sure to hit that bell notification button. I will see you guys in the next one.